Welcome to Success Begins Within. Become Your Best Self, brought to you by ReadFlow Audiobook. This audiobook is more than just a guide. It's a personal journey into the mindset, habits, and inner strength required to reach your highest potential. True success doesn't begin with status, wealth, or recognition. It starts deep within with self-awareness, discipline, and a clear vision for who you want to become. Each part of this audiobook is designed to help you sharpen your focus, build resilience, and make intentional progress in your life. Whether you're at the start of your journey or deep in the pursuit of growth, you'll find powerful insights and practical steps to guide your transformation. Let this be your daily reminder that success isn't a destination, it's a decision, and that decision begins with you. Now let's begin. Success Begins Within. Become Your Best Self. Written and published by ReadFlow Audiobook. Chapter 1. The Inner Foundation of Success. Success is often portrayed as a matter of strategy, timing, or luck. But those who consistently achieve meaningful, lasting success know the truth. Real transformation begins from within. The outer world is simply a mirror of your inner state. Everything starts with your mindset. Your thoughts shape your behavior shapes your habits, and your habits define your results. If you want to change what you see around you, you must first examine what's going on inside you. This inner foundation is built on three core elements: self-awareness, intentionality, and responsibility. Self-awareness. Know thyself. Self-awareness is the ability to observe your own thoughts, emotions, and behaviors with clarity and honesty. It's about asking yourself the tough questions. What are my strengths? What patterns are holding me back? Where am I simply reacting rather than choosing? You can't fix what you don't recognize. When you're honest with yourself, you create space for change. You begin to respond with purpose instead of reacting from habit. Self-awareness is the gateway to all improvement. Intentionality. Live on purpose. A successful life doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you live on purpose, when your choices align with your values and your vision. Intentionality means you no longer live on autopilot. You take control of your time, your energy, and your focus. Each day becomes an opportunity to grow, not just to get through. You stop chasing quick wins and start making meaningful progress. You may not control every circumstance, but you always control how you show up. Responsibility. Own your life. Taking responsibility means refusing to blame others for where you are. It's not about guilt, it's about power. When you blame, you give your power away. When you take ownership, you take control. Every great transformation begins with this realization. No one is coming to save you. You must save yourself. This mindset shift is the beginning of freedom. You stop waiting, you start acting, you stop wishing, you start building. Success begins within. Before you try to master anything outside you, money, relationships, achievement, you must first master what's inside you. That's your foundation. That's your starting point. And this is where your journey begins. Chapter 2. Mastering Your Thoughts. The silent architect of your life. If your life is the house, then your thoughts are the architect. Every belief you hold, every decision you make, and every direction you pursue begins with a single thought. These thoughts, repeated over time, become the silent framework of your reality. Your outer life will never rise higher than the quality of your inner thoughts. Your mind is always listening. Many people treat their thoughts as background noise, something automatic, unimportant. But your subconscious mind is always listening. It records everything. The way you talk to yourself, the things you say when no one else is around, the assumptions you make, they all shape your belief system. If you constantly think, I'm not good enough, I'll never succeed, or this always happens to me, then you're programming yourself to stay stuck. You have to become conscious of your inner dialogue. Would you speak to a friend the way you speak to yourself? If not, it's time to change the conversation in your mind. Challenge and replace limiting beliefs. Every person carries invisible limits, thoughts formed through past experiences, criticism, or fear. These beliefs can keep you confined in a mental prison long after the door is open. The good news: beliefs can be challenged. They can be replaced. Start by identifying a recurring negative belief. Write it down. Ask yourself, is this absolutely true? Where did this belief come from? What's a more empowering belief I can replace it with? For example, change I always fail to I'm still learning, and every setback is preparing me for growth. That simple shift creates mental space for success. Guard your mental environment. You become what you consume. Your thoughts are influenced by what you read, watch and listen to, and especially by who you spend time with. You wouldn't plant a garden and then pour toxins into the soil, yet many people fill their minds with negativity, drama or discouragement daily. To build a better inner world, read books that stretch your thinking, watch content that educates and uplifts. Surround yourself with people who speak life into you. Your mental environment either limits you or launches you. Choose carefully. Repetition builds reality. Change doesn't happen overnight. It happens with repetition. The more you think a thought, the more it becomes your default. That's how neural pathways are formed. So make sure the thoughts you repeat are serving your growth. Use affirmations. Visualize your success. Speak life over your goals. Train your mind the same way you'd train a muscle, with consistency, patience and intention. Closing insight. You don't have to control every thought that enters your mind, but you must take responsibility for the ones you entertain. You are not your thought. You are the thinker of your thoughts. And once you learn to direct them with clarity and purpose, your entire life begins to change. Chapter 3. The Power of Self-Discipline. Your inner engine of progress. If motivation is the spark, then self-discipline is the fuel that keeps the fire alive. Success doesn't depend on how you feel on your best days. It depends on what you do on your worst. When the excitement fades, when no one is watching, when results are still invisible, that's when discipline becomes your greatest advantage. Discipline is a form of self-respect. Discipline isn't punishment. It's respecting your own potential enough to stay consistent, even when it's hard. Every time you follow through on what you said you'd do, you prove to yourself that you are trustworthy. Skipping your commitments, on the other hand, sends a message to your subconscious. My words don't matter. But when you consistently act in alignment with your intentions, you build a powerful internal trust. That self-trust becomes unshakable confidence. Small wins build big momentum. You don't need to change your entire life overnight. Start with one disciplined habit. Wake up 30 minutes earlier. Read 10 pages of a book daily. Put your phone away when working. The action itself doesn't need to be massive, but your consistency does. Each time you follow through, you reinforce the belief, I am someone who shows up. That's how discipline works. It's not about intensity, it's about identity. Discipline over emotion. Your feelings will fluctuate. Some days you'll feel energized, focused and inspired. Other days you'll feel tired, overwhelmed or uncertain. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, regardless of how you feel. It's waking up early, even when you'd rather sleep in. It's completing your workout, even when motivation is low. It's sticking to your goals, even when distractions tempt you. Emotion makes you inconsistent. Discipline makes you unstoppable. Create systems, not just goals. Everyone has goals. Few have systems. Goals give you direction, but systems, habits, routines, structure, create the path to reach them. Instead of saying, I want to get in shape, create a disciplined routine. Work out 4 times a week. Prepare healthy meals every Sunday. Track your progress every month. Discipline turns vague intentions into real progress. It builds the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Protect what matters most. Discipline also means learning to say no to distractions, to instant gratification, to habits that pull you away from your growth. It's about setting boundaries and staying focused on what truly matters. Remember, every yes to a distraction is a no to your purpose. Closing insight. Success isn't reserved for the most talented or the most inspired. It belongs to those who can consistently do the work, even when it's uncomfortable, inconvenient, or boring. Discipline is freedom. It's the freedom to live the life you actually want, not just the one you fall into. The moment you begin to master your discipline is the moment you take full control of your future. Chapter 4. The Power of Habits. Design your daily life. We often think success is built on rare, massive decisions, but in reality, it's the quiet repetition of your daily habits that shapes your destiny. Success is never accidental, it's intentional, and the clearest reflection of your intentions is your habits. Your habits reflect who you're becoming. Every habit you repeat is a vote for the type of person you want to be. Do you want to be healthy, organized, focused? Then look at what you consistently do, not what you occasionally wish for. Habits compound, both positively and negatively. A poor habit might not hurt you today, but repeated over months or years, it builds into limitation. A good habit might not yield instant results, but with time it becomes a superpower. You're not just living your habits. You are your habits. Start small but stay consistent. The biggest mistake people make is trying to change everything at once. They overhaul their routines, set 10 goals, and burn out within a week. Start with one simple habit that aligns with your best self. Drink water first thing in the morning. Write your goals down each day. Take a 10-minute walk. Meditate for 5 minutes. Make it small enough that you can't fail. Then build on that momentum. Consistency beats intensity every single time. Habits stack. Build powerful routines. One way to make habits stick is to use the concept of habit stacking, linking a new habit to something you already do. For example, after brushing your teeth, journal one sentence. After making your bed, plan your top 3 priorities for the day. After lunch, take a 5-minute mindfulness break. By connecting your new habit to an existing one, you reduce friction and build rhythm. Your routines begin to flow, and that's when real transformation begins. If you want to use your phone less, charge it in another room. Make good habits easier to follow and bad ones harder to access. Your surroundings influence your actions more than you think. So make your environment a silent ally in your growth. Track, reflect, and adjust. Habits don't grow in isolation. You need to observe them, reflect on them, and adjust them as you evolve. Keep a simple habit tracker. Write down your progress once a week. Celebrate small wins, and when you fall off track, don't punish yourself. Realign yourself. Success isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent and resilient. Closing insight. Your daily habits are not just tasks on a checklist. They are votes for your future self. Design them intentionally. Build them patiently. Protect them fiercely. Because when you master your habits, you master your life. Chapter 5. Mastering your thoughts. The foundation of inner power. What you think, you become, and what you constantly dwell on, you attract into your life. The quality of your thoughts is directly connected to the quality of your identity, actions, and outcomes. If you want to become your best self, you must learn to master your mind before anything else. Etifi, you are not your thoughts, but they shape you. It's easy to believe that every thought you have is true, but the reality is, your mind often runs on autopilot, replaying old beliefs, fears, and limitations that you picked up long ago. Here's the truth. You are not your thoughts. You are the thinker of your thoughts. When you begin to observe your mind, you create a powerful space between what you think and how you respond. And in that space lies your freedom. Build a thought filter. Imagine if every thought you had to pass through a filter. Is this thought serving me or holding me back? Is this thought based on fear or growth? Would my best self believe this thought? When you begin filtering your inner dialogue this way, you start reprogramming your mind to work for you, not against you. Negative self-talk weakens your progress. Empowered self-talk reinforces your purpose. Use visualization to prime your mind. Visualization is not fantasy. It's mental training. Top performers in every field use it to create clarity and alignment before taking action. Take a few minutes each day to close your eyes and see your best self in action. See yourself waking up with energy, speaking confidently, solving problems with calm, finishing your goals, feeling fulfilled not because life is perfect, but because you are alive. Your mind can't always tell the difference between imagination and reality. Use this to your advantage. Visualize to internalize. When you don't master your thoughts, your emotions control your day, and eventually your destiny. Mental discipline is not about suppressing thoughts. It's about choosing which ones to water and which ones to ignore. You may not control what thoughts arise, but you always control which ones you entertain. Emotional mastery begins the moment you realize that a thought is just a thought until you decide to give it power. Create a daily thought practice. Here's a simple practice to develop thought mastery. Etimone, morning mind check. Start your day by writing down the dominant thoughts in your head. Ask, are these aligned with who I want to be today? Midday reset. Pause at noon. Take 3 deep breaths. Clear your mind. Reset your intention. Evening reflection. At night, reflect. What thought patterns served me today? Which ones distracted or limited me? Over time, this builds the muscle of self-awareness, which leads to better decision-making and emotional control. Closing insight. The most successful people in the world don't have perfect thoughts. They simply learn not to believe everything they think. Train your mind to see opportunity. Train your thoughts to serve your vision, and you will unlock an unstoppable version of yourself. Chapter 6. The Power of Habits. Small steps, big shifts. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems, and your systems are built on your habits. If success begins within, then your daily habits are the bridge between who you are and who you're becoming. Why habits matter more than motivation. Motivation is powerful, but fleeting. Some days you'll feel inspired, most days you won't. That's why relying on motivation alone is risky. Habits don't ask how you feel. They don't care about your mood. They simply run automatically. When you install the right habits, you remove friction from your growth. You start showing up consistently without needing to convince yourself every time. Identity-based habits. Change who you're becoming. Too many people set goals like happy. I want to lose weight. I want to read more. I want to be more disciplined. But what if you started from the inside out? Ask yourself, who do I want to become? Once you know the answer, whether it's a healthy person, a focused leader, or a disciplined creator, you begin to build habits that prove that identity to yourself. For example, a healthy person doesn't try to work out. They move daily. It's who they are. A focused leader doesn't hope for clarity. They schedule time to think. A disciplined creator doesn't wait for inspiration. They build regardless. The goal is to become someone who aligns with their values by default. Stack your habits for compound results. The key to building strong habits is simplicity and stacking. Try this framework. Ekapi. Start small. 5 push-ups. 1 paragraph, 2 minutes of deep breathing. Let your habit be so easy it's almost impossible to fail. Tie it to an existing habit. After I brush my teeth, I'll write 3 things I'm grateful for. After I pour my coffee, I'll review my top 3 priorities. When you compound these behaviors, they build momentum, and eventually they become part of who you are. Design your environment for discipline. Your environment either helps or hinders your growth. It should make your good habits easier and your bad habits harder. Ask yourself, is my phone helping me focus or fueling distraction? Are my meals supporting energy or draining it? Does my space inspire clarity or clutter my mind? Success doesn't always come from trying harder. Sometimes it comes from designing smarter. A well-designed environment will support your best self, even when your willpower is low. Daily discipline builds long-term confidence. When you follow through on a habit, no matter how small, you build trust with yourself, and that trust becomes confidence. Confidence isn't built by hype or external praise. It's built in quiet moments, when no one is watching, and you do the right thing anyway. Discipline isn't punishment, it's self-respect. Every time you choose the long term over the shortcut, you say to yourself, I'm worth the effort. Closing insight. You don't need to transform your life overnight. You just need to commit to a process. Start with one habit. Make it small. Make it consistent. Let that one change ripple outward. Because when you master your habits, you take control of your direction and become the kind of person success naturally follows. Chapter 7. Mastering your inner dialogue, the voice that shapes your life. The most important conversation you'll ever have is the one you have with yourself every single day. That voice in your mind, it shapes your choices, beliefs, and identity. It can be your greatest source of strength or your biggest obstacle. Your thoughts create your reality. Your life doesn't just unfold based on what happens to you. It unfolds based on how you interpret what happens. Two people can face the same setback. One says, I'm a failure. The other says, this is feedback. The first quits. The second grows. You are not at the mercy of your circumstances. You are at the mercy of your interpretation of those circumstances. From self-criticism to self-coaching, most people are experts at tearing themselves down. I always mess things up. I'm not disciplined enough. I'll never be like them. This inner critic can feel familiar, but it is not a truth teller. It is a survival mechanism shaped by fear, rejection, or past wounds. The shift begins when you become your own coach, not your critic. A coach doesn't ignore your flaws, they challenge you with compassion. This was a mistake, but here's how I'll improve. I didn't show up today, but I will tomorrow. I'm struggling, but I'm still showing up. Self-compassion isn't weakness. It's what fuels your resilience. Rewire your beliefs by rewriting the script. Your beliefs are not fixed. They are stories you've repeated enough times to feel true. But here's the truth. You can write a new story. If your current inner dialogue sounds like, I always give up, shift to I'm learning how to stay consistent. I don't have what it takes. Shift to I'm building what it takes. I'm stuck. Shift to I'm on the edge of a breakthrough. Language is power. Speak to yourself like someone you deeply believe in. Affirmations that actually work. Affirmations are not about empty hype. They're about training your mind to focus on what's possible, not what's missing. Here's the key. Use affirmations that align with action. Instead of saying, I'm successful when you don't feel it, try, I am becoming more focused, disciplined, and resilient every day. Make your affirmations believable and tied to who you're becoming. Say them often. Say them with emotion. Say them until your brain catches up. Protecting your mental energy. Your inner voice is shaped by what you consume. If you constantly feed your mind with negative news, pointless comparison, or toxic conversations, your self-talk will reflect that. Guard your inputs fiercely. Choose books, mentors, and content that feed your focus, not your fear. What you allow into your mind becomes the raw material for your inner dialogue. So choose wisely. Closing insight. Success isn't just about hustle. It's about harmony between your goals and your self-belief. Your inner voice is always speaking. The question is it building you or breaking you? Train it. Redirect it. Elevate it. Because when your self-talk becomes empowering, your external life starts to reflect that internal strength. Chapter 8. Emotional resilience. Staying grounded in a chaotic world. Life will test you. Not once, not twice, but over and over. It will shake your plans, challenge your beliefs, and throw you into uncertainty. The question isn't whether you'll face chaos. The question is, who will you be in the midst of it? That's where emotional resilience comes in. What is emotional resilience? Resilience isn't just the ability to tough it out. It's the ability to recover quickly without losing your identity, your integrity, or your direction. It's not about suppressing emotions. It's about understanding them, processing them, and choosing your response, not reacting impulsively. Think of resilience like a muscle. The more pressure you experience and respond with presence, the stronger that muscle becomes. Your emotions are messengers, not masters. Anger, frustration, fear, anxiety. These are not weaknesses. They are signals. They're telling you something. This situation matters to you. You feel unsafe. Your boundaries were crossed. You're under pressure. Instead of ignoring them or letting them explode outward, listen. Ask yourself, what is this emotion trying to show me? Then respond with clarity, not chaos. The emotionally weak suppress or explode. The emotionally strong acknowledge and choose. The power of the pause. In emotionally charged moments, the pause is your power. Before you react, pause. Before you lash out, pause. Before you quit, pause. This pause gives you space, and in that space wisdom can speak. Use that moment to breathe. Ask yourself, what outcome do I really want? Will this response move me forward or set me back? Am I acting from my values or from my triggers? The pause is where maturity begins and mastery follows. Build your inner calm deliberately. You don't become emotionally resilient by accident. You build it through daily practices that center your mind and heart. Try this: morning silence or journaling. Start your day with clarity, not noise. Mindful breathing. Anchor yourself during stress. Gratitude in chaos. Even one thing, acknowledged deeply, can rewire your mood. Movement. Walk. Stretch. Exercise. Release emotional tension through the body. Self-talk. Speak to yourself in calm, reassuring ways. You are safe. You are capable. You will rise. Don't wait for the storm to start training. Train now, so when it comes you stand strong. Don't let temporary feelings make permanent decisions. How many dreams have died because of one bad day? How many relationships broken from one angry moment? Feelings are fleeting, but their consequences can last. You must learn to separate emotion from action. Just because you feel unworthy doesn't mean you are. Just because you feel like quitting doesn't mean it's the right move. Resilient people don't trust every feeling. They witness, reflect, and then move with wisdom, not impulse. You're allowed to rest, not quit. Sometimes resilience doesn't look like pushing forward. It looks like taking a break, regathering your energy, and starting again with intention. There is strength in rest. There is wisdom in pacing. There is power in knowing when to pause and when to rise again. Burnout is not a badge of honor. Your long-term growth matters more than temporary hustle. Closing insight. Emotional resilience doesn't mean you never bend. It means you don't break. It's not about always being happy. It's about remaining grounded, even when life feels unstable. In a chaotic world, your calm is a superpower. Nurture it, build it, protect it, because storms will come, but they won't define you. Your response will. Chapter 9. Aligning daily actions with your vision. Success doesn't happen by accident. It's not something that just shows up one day. It's the natural outcome of small, consistent actions with a clear internal vision. You can have dreams, goals, and positive thoughts, but unless your daily habits and decisions support that vision, they remain unrealized potential. This is where alignment becomes everything. Your vision is the destination. Habits are the vehicle. Think of your personal vision, your ideal future self, as the destination on a map. Now ask yourself, what are the roads that lead there? What small steps move me closer? What daily habits reinforce who I want to become? Because without consistent direction, your vision is just a wish. And without action, your dreams are just distractions. The truth is, your life today is a reflection of your priorities yesterday. So what you do today shapes who you become tomorrow. Success is hidden in the mundane. The most successful people don't rely on motivation. They rely on systems. They create routines, environments, and disciplines that carry them forward, especially on days they don't feel like it. It's not glamorous. It's not loud, but it's powerful. Waking up early to read or plan, saying no to distractions, choosing water over soda, writing down goals instead of just thinking about them, practicing a skill when no one is watching. These simple acts repeated become extraordinary over time. Do not underestimate the power of the ordinary. It is where mastery is born. The rule of identity-based action. Here's a mindset shift that changes everything. Don't act for the outcome. Act as the person you want to become. Ask yourself, What would the best version of me do in this moment? Would they skip their workout? Would they gossip? Would they procrastinate or make excuses? Or would they show up, stay focused, act with integrity even when no one's watching? When your actions align with the identity you aspire to, you don't just achieve success, you embody it. And when you embody it, the results follow naturally, powerfully and sustainably. Eliminate what doesn't belong. Just as much as success is about adding the right habits, it's also about removing what drains you. Ask yourself regularly, what in my life is no longer serving me? What habits, relationships or distractions are pulling me away from my vision? Sometimes progress doesn't require doing more. It requires doing less of the wrong things. Your time is limited. Your energy is sacred. Protect it by cutting what's out of alignment, even if it's comfortable. Let go of things that once made sense but no longer match who you're becoming. Design your days like a creator, not a consumer. Most people drift through their day reacting to everything. Messages, notifications, other people's demands. They consume their time instead of creating with it. But you're not most people. You are here to build, shape and lead your life. So take charge. Design your day like it matters, because it does. Start with intention. What would make today a successful step forward? Set boundaries for your time. Batch tasks. Turn off distractions. Protect your focus like your future depends on it, because it does. Live each day on purpose, not by accident. Final thought. Your grand vision will be built, one small step at a time. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Create momentum with what you have. Every action, every small, consistent choice is casting a vote for your future self. So make each one count. Remember, you don't become your best self overnight, but every day you act in alignment, you are getting closer. And soon, your outer world will reflect the greatness you've cultivated within. Chapter 10. The Inner Shift That Changes Everything. You've made it this far, and that matters, because most people stop at information. But you are moving toward transformation. And here's the truth. All lasting success begins with an inner shift. A change in mindset. A redefinition of identity. A new standard for how you show up every single day. This final chapter is your reminder. You are the author of your life. It was never about motivation. It was always about identity. Think back to the moments in your life when you've been most proud. It wasn't because of external rewards. It was because you became someone stronger. So let's be clear. This journey is not about hacks or shortcuts. It's about showing up for yourself daily. It's about no longer waiting to feel ready. It's about choosing discipline when distractions call. It's about building a life that reflects your values, not your fears. Discipline isn't restriction. It's freedom. Freedom from regret. Freedom from mediocrity. Freedom to become who you're meant to be. You already have what it takes. You don't need permission. You don't need me time. You don't need to be perfect. You already have what it takes to change everything right now. You have the awareness. You have the ability to decide. You have the power to take that next step forward. All progress begins with a moment of courage. Even the smallest act done with intention can change your entire trajectory. So don't underestimate the power of starting now. The journey doesn't end here. If there's one lesson to carry forward, let it be this. You don't become your best self by chance. You become it by choice. Every day, you get to choose growth over comfort, action over excuses, purpose over pleasure, vision over validation. Let this be the chapter where you stop waiting and start building, start becoming. And as you do, you inspire others to do the same. Because when you rise, you give others permission to rise too. Now, it's your turn. Your time is now. The tools are in your hands. The clarity is in your heart. And the momentum is within reach. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are exactly where your next breakthrough begins. Like, subscribe and share this journey. If this audiobook inspired you, helped you shift your mindset, or gave you the fuel to keep going, like this video, Subscribe to ReadFlow Audiobook for more empowering content. Share this with someone who's ready to rise with you. Together, we build a community of growth, resilience, and unstoppable purpose. Thank you for listening. Now go and become your best self, because everything you seek is already within you.